to decide between the Eufy S1 Pro versus S2 Pro wearable breast pump. Stick around. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the different features of each of these pumps, similarities and differences, so you can decide which of these Eufy wearable breast pumps is the right choice for you. So let's get started and take a look. I think the first place to start is really the design, because this is the most obvious difference. You can see here that visually they look quite different. Your Eufy S1 Pro, S1, E20, E10, they all have the similar shape. They have your pump motor that sits on top with your collection cup at the bottom. They all have this flange which you need to lift up and over. It clips into place. Now, the disadvantages here are, you can see this is quite a manual process to get your flange hooked up and in. Not doing it correctly can lead to air leaks, potential milk leaks. The other part to it is when you're looking down, you have no way of seeing where your nipple alignment is. You have no way to visually check where your milk is without a little bit of maneuvering. So whilst this is a great, easy unit, from a design perspective, they really have thought about it and upgraded it with the Eufy S2 Pro. You can see here you have a really nice transparent cup. If you're looking top down, you can easily see your nipple alignment. They have also, let me turn this on, included a light for your nipple alignment. You can turn this on and off. So this makes your alignment, nipple alignment during nighttime that much easier. Your pump motor sits behind your flange here. So it is also not top heavy like with the S1 Pro. So it feels a little bit more balanced wearing it. Your flange is also really different. This is held in place by magnetic, so you simply place it in and it clips into place. So it is a lot easier to put together. They have really thought about some features for that usability. But that's not all that is different. So let's take a look at the suction. Suction-wise, they are both exactly the same, up to 300 millimeters of mercury suction strength. In terms of suction levels, so how strong those pulls feel, you have 7 adjustable levels on both the stimulation and expression mode with your Eufy S1 Pro. With the S2 Pro, you still have the same 7 levels with your stimulation mode, but they have increased it up to 10 different suction levels on expression. Now, having those extra 3 levels, I really do like it. It just gives you that little bit of extra customization. A lot of mums feel when they first start that it's going to be the strongest suctions are going to give you the most output, but that's not necessarily the case. It's all about finding what is comfortable for you and your body. So having more options to choose from is always beneficial. Now, both of these only have the two modes on pump, so the stimulation and the expression. The stimulation are the shorter, quicker suctions for initiating your letdown, and the expression of those deeper, stronger pulls for pulls for drawing out your breast milk. However, both of these pumps do come with the Eufy app. Now, I will give you a quick look at that. They are, in terms of features, both very similar in the way the app works. The main difference here, I'll show you first the S1. So you have the options. I've only got one pump connected at the moment, but you have the options to sync. You have your rhythms in here that you can choose from. You have the option to create your own pumping rhythm. So fantastic from Eufy's point of view. You can change your speed cycle. So we talk about suction strength or suction levels being how strong those pulls are. The speed cycle is how fast they are. Now, some people respond better to slow, others are better with the quicker pulls, a little bit like the stimulation mode. Again, having all these options are fantastic. You also have the option to adjust your heating as well as the timer. Now, this is very similar, you can see, to the S2 Pro. Couple of differences. You obviously have your nipple light you can turn on and off, and your massage mode. Now, I will go into detail. Let's do it now, actually. So both of these have heating. Both of them have 7 different levels for your heating, but there are a couple of differences. The S2 Pro runs a degree hotter, so it's from 36 degrees Celsius up to 42 degrees Celsius. The S1 Pro's 35 degrees Celsius up to 41. But so it's here nor there, just slightly warmer with the S2 Pro. But in terms of where the heating is, with your S1 Pro, it is only in this top half of your flange. With the S2 Pro, they've actually included heating in a 360 degrees, so around your vibration pads and within the nipple area, you have a full 360 degree of heating. I really like the inclusion of the 360 degrees. I think both are great. Love having heating. There's a lot of studies and research that go into showing that it helps with comfort and output. I do like the inclusion of the 360 degrees because I feel like it just gives you a greater comfort level, and it feels just a little bit more holistic. You can also see here, you have these spring-loaded vibration panels. Now, these are also called massage. For me, they don't massage what you would expect, like going around in circles. They are more a vibration type plate that their design is to help loosen up the milk in the milk ducts, help with comfort. So they do have some benefits. What I do like is you have the option within the app to, let me pull this up, change how you want these to go. So you can do them clockwise, you can have it so they have certain patterns that they will rotate in. You can adjust the intensity, how long you want it for. You can also create your own DIY. And let me turn it on so I can show you how it works. So you can see these are all currently going at the same time, and then they will fall into their pattern. If I give it just a minute, have I got it turned on? It should be kicking in. There we go. So you can change your pattern in how you want these to work. Now, with the massage, I do feel like, because this is the biggest to me, other than the 360 degree heating, this really is one of the biggest differences and upgrades with the S2 Pro. However, massage is not for everybody. I feel sometimes, for me personally, this can be quite stimulating to the point of too much for me. Especially that this is going around in different patterns. If it's all on at once, that's the setting I would prefer rather than having it just going in different patterns. Again, this is a really personal choice. Some people really love it, but I do know that there are a lot of mums too that don't like the vibration or the massage, feeling it's just too overstimulating. So if you're somebody that does feel easily stimulated or overstimulated, you may find that you don't need this feature. So that's definitely something I think to take into consideration. How they've got it, I do like that you have a lot of flexibility in how you can use it. Okay, so a couple of other things in terms of design, why I have both of these on. You can also see that the S2 Pro has this upgraded LED screen. Love that this has been included because it's really hard to determine where you're at while you're pumping with the S1 Pro. So you have your dots to line up with what level you're on, and then your modes here. There's no inbuilt timer. Bugs me even that these buttons are upside down for when you're looking down and wearing it. So very basic if you're trying to use the pump without the app. Whereas with the upgraded S2 Pro, it's a really nice, easy, quick visual, especially when you're half asleep at night. You can easily track how many minutes you are into your pumping session. So I do really like that. Okay, flanges. Now I mentioned that they are different in terms of structure and design. There is one other major difference between these, and you can see here, if I line those up, the Eufy S2 Pro flange sits a lot higher. So this part here sits a lot higher than what you have with the S1 Pro. Now, this can be an issue if you are somebody that has flat breasts. Even smaller breasts might be a bit of an issue. If you've got say inverted nipples, this can be a lot harder to get the right positioning. And why this is because you've got more of a distance here to carry, you're going to need to be able to lift your breast tissue up to be able to get your nipple in centrally. So this is still going to sit in your bra. It's going to sit lower, which helps to make it look a little bit more discreet, but it's still going to mean that you're going to have enough tissue here to lift it up and over. So if you're somebody that's quite flat-breasted, getting that up, and it can be quite difficult. So definitely something to consider. I feel it's a lot more forgiving for your fit with the S1 Pro. In terms of battery, so you actually get more usage off a single charge with your Eufy S1 Pro. So it's up to 150 minutes runtime off a single charge. Keep in mind, having heating may reduce that down. It's only 120 minutes or 30 minutes difference with the S2 Pro. Keep in mind though, you don't just have the heating, you also have the massage. So if you're using both those features, you are going to run through that battery charge quite quickly. Now, both do come with a rechargeable carry case, so I do really love this. Makes it so easy just to charge your pump and to store it while you're on the go. With the S1 Pro, it is up to 5 days of usage. With the S2 Pro, they have increased it to 7 days. It is slightly bigger carry case, and I assume that's because to give you that extra battery coverage. However, keep in mind that 5 days and 7 days recommendation is only for 3 20-minute sessions. So it's only giving you essentially 7 hours or 5 hours of additional usage. So that is one thing to consider, but the battery life is extended with the S2 Pro versus the S1 Pro. Noise wise, I'll turn them both on so we can have a nice listen. Now keep in mind this isn't up against your breast, so it is a little bit louder. And then now let me turn on . So they are both marketed at the 46 decibels. However, I feel like the S2 Pro is louder purely because you have this massage and it's not consistent or synced with the suction. So for me, you hear that pattern of the suction, but then on top you have the massage going as well. So it feels like a more consistent noise overall rather than a pattern for me. That said, both of these are going to be relatively quiet with a bit of background noise. Both are going to be quite discreet. So again, something to consider, but it's not a deal breaker. In terms of price, retail price, it's $349 for your Eufy S1 Pro, $449 for your S2 Pro, so there's a $100 difference. This is where I think you need to take into consideration, are you going to use the massage mode? Because really, this is one of the main differing factors between the two. Both have heating, although it is better with the S2 Pro. You can both have heating and both are beneficial. It's really just this massage that is the biggest factor in my opinion. Are you going to use it? Is it worth the extra $100 investment? Keeping in mind with that, you have this better design in terms of transparency. You have the convenience factors of the LED screen, the extra 2 days battery charge. So there are some additional factors to consider with that pricing, which does make this advantageous. It's again also easier in terms of parts, but it comes at that premium price. So the only reason I would not recommend the Eufy S2 Pro though is if you do have the flat breasts. In that case, I do feel like you would get a much better fit with the Eufy S1 Pro. Still a fantastic pump. It has got glowing reviews from tons of mums. It is one of the pumps that I recommend most. So please don't think you've got the latest and greatest that I'm going to say this now isn't a great pump. Still think this is fantastic. I really like a lot of the upgrades they have done with the S2 Pro. So I hope this video helps. If you have any questions, please ask and I'll do my very best to answer them. If you found this helpful at all, I really appreciate that thumbs up. It does help this content get seen by other pumping mums. And if you want more great reviews, how-to videos, then hit that subscribe. Cheers.